And it was happening, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to the PI Gaming Channel. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy LMEO Mac. I'm here with Double Post and Dope Rock. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, here with the boys. Shoot, today I need to know. So let me know. Comment. You know what I'm saying? Let me know how y'all feel about. Do y'all think game leaks ruin gaming? I need to know. You know what I'm saying? It's a serious topic. You know, personally, I don't trip on it that much. But we here to get people's opinion on it. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, let's get it started. Who
Oh,
first?
I
Who
I already
first?
know Rock's got a
Who
lot
first?
to say.
So I know I'm all geeked up. Y'all
He
can't see
said
it
he
really,
said
but
all
I'm geeked
smoke
up.
off the rip.
Okay, okay. I'm so happy we're talking about this. I'm gonna let my anger and hatred fuel every conversation that I have right now. Um, I
Oh God.
absolutely fudging hate because I think this is within the first 30 to a minute, so I can't say the other word. But fudging hate when there's game leaks for any type of story mode game. I think it is somewhat of the anti blah. You know what I mean? It's just the worst thing that happens to video games almost ever because it's like watching a movie trailer that shows you the beginning and the middle and the end. What do I have to look forward to? It's so frustrating to be like,
You know,
ooh, you get a rocket launcher at the end of the game. I don't give a shit. I should have found that out in the video game. Like, why are you showing me in the beginning of the game? Because now I don't want to play bullshit where I have one pistol. I want to
mhm.
have the bullshit where I have a pistol and a shotgun and an Uzi, an M16, a rocket launcher, grenades. I want the car that blows people up. Like you showed me all of these things in the game leaks and the game stuff, in the game trailers
Mhm.
and the thing
But you
is,
got to
game
work your way
trailers are
to it, man. You got to work your way to
so
it.
don't show me. This is the thing, right? You can have your cake, right, and eat it too, but you don't eat the whole cake in one sitting. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't give me the whole cake. Throw me a slice. You know what I'm saying? Like game leaks by content creators, I feel like have almost ruined story mode video games almost entirely because data miners love spoiling everything. I feel like content creators are really the issue of that. And it's not to say that they can't do it. I support every other, content creator equally as well. I feel like everybody should do it. But I just mean that when you're looking into stuff and you're trying to get people to deter from playing a video game, this is 7 reasons why I don't think that you should play based on this data mining research I did. Why? Why are you doing this? Just let the person experience the game. Maybe you're ruining it for them.
Right. I mean, you see all these videos online where people are talking about is gaming fun anymore? Is why am I bored with gaming? I mean, maybe it's because we're in the information age and that people are seeking up way too much information. Like video games are supposed to be a thing that you're meant to experience, right? And when that experience is somehow ruined for you or it takes to another level where you're looking into certain elements of the story, not even just story, because like even that subtle hint that something happens in the story, you're like, oh, I'm kind of expecting it now.
Mm-hmm.
So there's I feel like because there's so many information on games and so many people giving their opinion on stuff, it is so easy for people to sort of take that opinion and kind of like use it as sort of a shape what they think is their own. However, I mean, on a flip side, you could say gaming reviews also kind of help protect people from pretty bad products, but there's a level as to what you should and should not show in games league. So I guess I already know your answer, Rock. But I guess for LMAO Mac, do any of these hype you up? Do any of the leaks that you see on Twitter hype you up for any reason, or is it just like it's whatever?
Mm, it depends on what they get into, honestly, concerning the game wise. So shoot, like I've seen some like the little content they release here and there about Hogwarts Legacy and stuff, and like a couple of other games. As long as they don't get too in depth to it, like they posting videos about the first story mission and stuff like that before the game even drops. I'm
Right.
not really tripping on it. I mean, shoot, if it's just a quick clip showing, oh, you can get this in the game, you know what I'm saying? You can work on this, these are your abilities, you know what I'm saying? You can choose from this armor or this group, etc. I really have no problem with it.
So let me
So,
give you a part B to that question then.
Hmm.
How do you think then, because not only we're talking about game trailers, but we're talking
mm,
about game leaks.
mm,
How
Hmm.
do you feel when somebody tells you that I found out by looking into it on chapter 5 that you can get a bike because of the data mining that this person did on YouTube, and now you can get a bike in chapter 5? That's not even a game trailer thing. That's just
No,
a full on spoiler.
yeah,
it's
yeah,
a full-on
yeah,
spoiler.
And I feel like with that, dude, there's just so much FOMO.
yeah,
Honestly, everybody wants to be the data miner. Everybody wants to be able to show the next thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's facts.
I mean, you look into it. If you got a bike, not only are you kind of ruining the experience in a gameplay aspect, but like you might not know how you get the bike, but it's still the fact that you know that you get a bike at level 5 or whatever stage 5 that makes it even more more of an issue. And I feel like the less you say about a game, and this is how I feel, but you show just a tad bit, like there's two sides to this coin where as a player
Absolutely.
you want to know what you're going to experience from the game, but you don't want too much information about that. And what really sucks is because you're on YouTube looking for said information, then you have the YouTube channels and the YouTube algorithm and the echo chamber feeding you things that lead into where you're being spoiled. Now, is it your fault or their fault for doing it? I think it's a collective. It's not one person's fault. It's everybody kind of trying to jump on to the next thing. But it has ruined gaming in a sense for you to be surprised. And, you know, it's a hard pill to swallow, but when you have companies who are taking down videos. I'm not going to name companies or games because this is completely ambiguous and can apply to every type of scenario, whether it be for good or bad reasons. Everybody always says, "Why did they take this down?" Well, I mean, maybe one, it wasn't supposed to get out yet. Maybe two, you're hurting the sales of a particular type of game. And three, I mean, a good example. I will say this example, the whole Rockstar Grand Theft Auto 6 leak that happened. Everybody was asking about that game for so long. And
Mm-hmm.
then data miners, and actually, this was not even a data mine. This was somebody getting files, not from the game itself, but like leaked emails from what I heard. And just,
Yeah,
it's wild where you've destroyed all hype and expectation for at least a good portion of players because now they know what to expect rather than when the first trailer for a huge game like that for say 5 dropped. Sure, people were talking about it and there were speculative rumors, but nobody knew anything about it until the first trailer dropped and like, oh shit, this is what we got. But now so many people know about this and that and everything. It's like everyone's just asking for it and they're not giving you anything because they want the hype to die down. So when they drop you with that huge surprise, they're like, okay, now you got my attention. So,
Right. And this is the thing. I hate gaming leaks.
mm-hmm,
But as a gamer, this is where my heart hurts.
mm-hmm,
Okay? Because I think I can speak for all three of us and the majority of people that play games. Every gamer is picky. I
exactly.
don't like certain games that you like.
mm,
I like games that you don't like. We're all super picky. Like you might not like racing games as much because it's like car games that make you go into it and be like, why do I have to change my front differential to get to this race? Like you might, but Mac might like that. You know what I mean? So we're very picky. Gamers are very picky. So I understand this. So I actually, this is the shit part because I hate game leaks. But I'm gonna say the name, and I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to speak on it. Anthem was like the worst drop ever in the history of the world. But people were also talking about it before it came out, so there was a lot of leaks about that game.
Hmm.
But the overall content did show that the game was ass. So it wasn't it so it's like you said, it's like a double-sided coin. Like you're like counterbalancing it because even if 60% of people say that the game is not good,
Hmm.
that's still enough for the gamers to be like, I don't want to play this because it does make sense. But I also feel like you should be able to try it, like try it, If the game is $69.99, for sure, whatever. Black Friday, if it's $20, who cares? Just try it. Somebody says that it's boo boo hot garbage, then maybe just try it when it's $20. I mean, what is if
God.
Oh God.
um so I actually took this picture, and you guys don't know about this. Um but this is exactly what we're talking about. This is something that was on videogamer.com, right?
Oh boy.
It says Modern Warfare 2 data miners uncover details that signal the arrival of gunfight and gun game. Why are you trying to do something like that? You know what I mean? Because they're talking about releasing something. It takes away the surprise and the fun. And
Yeah.
people that hear, oh, I love gunfight, oh, I love gun game, and it doesn't happen, then they're so distraught and upset. Like, why did you didn't really have to go into it that deep to try to see what the next thing is going to be? Like that
Yeah.
ruins all of the aspect because now because it says that with the signal that they
Oh
signal
my
the arrival of
God.
gunfight and gun game. Like I have an actual picture and a full on thing, and it's a full
You set people's
Facebook post topic.
expectations.
Yeah, and the thing is that can ruin everything because we're so picky.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like I might not want to play that game at all because I'm like, why are they putting gun game in the game? Okay, I guess it's going to be the exact same one as the last one, but it might
Right.
be a different type of gun game. So
Yeah.
you
Right.
just, you know what I mean? So they just don't. You're really flipping the coin, but then you're smacking it down because it's like you don't know which way it's going to go with how picky we are.
Well,
Right.
what's interesting, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they say something about like, and I have seen this in games where data mine leaks or whatever promise certain features, certain gameplay mechanic, blah 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 blah, and then it comes out and people are mad that it's not in there. But what's funny is that could have been saved for DLC. You could have legit just changed the trajectory of what people would have got, but because now that surprise is ruined and all the marketing and people who make this game possible are like thinking, well shit, our surprise is ruined. How are we going to cope that surprise and give them something better? So you may have ultimately delayed the process to anybody who is interested and will probably buy it, but you're likely going to buy Call of Duty anyway. And then when people find out that it's not in, or you speak of something that's not in there yet, it may be like, dang, okay, I'm not going to, pick it up. And this isn't. I want to carefully emphasize that this isn't attack. This isn't like blatantly,
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
defending or attacking companies that
No, not
go
at all.
that may do practices. The way I see it is you're allowed to spend your money on whatever you want, and sure, some games and some companies are trash at making trash games. But I mean, there are elements to it where you're playing around with so many different factors and with so much information. And I mean, I don't know how much in a review should be in a review, or how much social media, like where's the balance lie? Are they only going to be allowed to talk about the game mechanics, the story? Like, story is such a huge part in gaming now.
I'm
Yeah.
glad you say that, and I think all of us will agree.
Hmm.
I think game leaks for multiplayer games, I think those are okay because I feel like they might boost sales. If
Hmm.
you
Right.
have a game leak for a single player game or a story mode or career mode game, it hurts every sale point.
Yeah.
Right.
Multiplayers are fine, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the thing. I just said it too previously. that seeing that it says gun game and gunfight Modern Warfare 2 might intensify somebody to be like, damn, okay, now I'll buy it. Right?
Right.
But if we were to play Tomb Raider, let's say, I love that game. Um, but we play Tomb Raider, and all of a sudden there's a leak where it's like, oh, by the way, at the end of the game, you can get something to help your character with fighting this kind of style of fighter. And you're like, well, I didn't even know any of the shit that you just said. I didn't know there was a fighter. I didn't know that there was a ending part with this. I didn't know, you know what I mean? Like, those things hurt sales,
Hmm.
you know? And I think Anthem is kind of that area because it was a multiplayer game, but it was only linear. It was only linear. I mean, you did open world stuff, but to get to the story spot, you didn't get anything out of doing any of the stuff on the side.
Hmm.
So doing the linear stuff, and then you're playing this single. I mean, literally, you're playing a multiplayer game, but cooperatively. Let's be. It's like a co-op game, and you get game leaks from that, and it ruins the whole aspect of the game. And then they don't want to fix it because now they're upset that people aren't buying it because of this is being said. Now they're not going to fix this. And then I just feel like multiplayer games can actually make good money and sales off of, you know, game leaks per se. I don't think that it hurts too much, but single player games I think hurts every single part of the franchise.
Yeah. One multiplayer experience that I am very intrigued about is the new Last of Us multiplayer standalone that's they're putting out. And what's funny about that is they haven't even, because that multiplayer experience is also very story driven. They haven't really showed anything about it. They've only showed a couple concept arts, and the game came out in 2020, and we are yet to see what the gameplay is. But once, going back to your point, I think once gameplay gets shown, that's just going to intensify the excitement because they held off so long from posting about it. Like when you keep posting about everything or something about every single week or every other month, it kind of loses that factor. And that's where the game leaks come in, where everyone's always putting their nose into, the latest title. And I'm seeing that with the latest Legend of Zelda, the Tears of the Kingdom, uh is there's a lot of uncertainty and doubt about, is it going to be good? And what's intriguing about that though is not necessarily just mechanical and gameplay stances, but now they're bringing into hardware and, you know, system hardware, if it's going to run good based off of their previous experiences. But you've seen how the previous Zelda went, and you know that they're under some really good developers. So why are you having certainty and doubt about this new one? You know, so there's a lot that goes into it, and I feel an overall feeling about just too much information these days. It kind of ruins the enjoyment of said games and experience. One of the other points I wanted to actually bring up was, because this is something that sort of was replaced by game leaks and the internet, was strategy guides. Have you guys ever bought strategy guides back in the day, or what did you guys think about the
That was my
strategy guide?
shit.
Okay.
I had one for a little bit too.
Now,
That was my shit.
to put the thing, not to put the question on you, wouldn't you say those also kind of ruin the game?
No.
No?
Let me tell you why.
All
And
right.
it's one sentence, it's a knockout, it's a buster, it's almost a whole shot. There ain't no brick miss on this. You can get a strategy book and follow along with the game your leisure instead of going to the end of the book. That's based on you. Like,
Right.
there's strategy guides, there's walkthroughs, there's all these things, and if you want to be a dick and go to the last page of the strategy guide, then that's you.
That's on you.
That's your mo. Like, if you want to just use the walkthrough because I want to be able to get every trophy in that mission and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that because you're a completionist, it
Yep.
doesn't ruin the game to you.
No. Because that's on
I
you.
don't know.
The only way somebody can ruin the game is if it's not something that you were intending to look for in the first place. And I mean, when you see YouTube videos popping up on, oh, ending of this, and it
Then I
shows a
said,
picture of the thumbnail of the supposed death. I remember. I don't know. Have you guys played Part 2 for The Last of Us,
no.
or
I
even
didn't even play part
Red
one.
Dead?
People are gonna
But
hate me for that.
but I know but I know
Hey,
you
I
have
didn't
played
either.
Red Dead. But Rokk, I have known you played Red Dead, and you know Red Dead 2, and that big event that happens in Red Dead 2. Not going to speak for it, but you know what I'm talking about. It
It's teeth pulling.
it's one of those situations where if you would have heard about that or ran across it on the internet, that would have killed all suspense, all surprise, everything for you.
It's what happened to me because I didn't even beat it. Like I played
No,
it, I heard about it, and I got so annoyed that I went never fucking mind. I don't even give a shit. And then
really.
I went back to playing it because not because of the cool factor, but because I'm like I need to finish the storyline. Like that's just how I am. But the game was ruined.
Right. There might have been a couple surprises that you would have found out, but it still wouldn't have gave you that same effect. And like, it actually goes into one of those reasons why I think even telling somebody about a supposed big event is now you've just it encountered their expectations to where, oh, I know there's a big event coming somewhere, just I don't know when, but because I know that, I'm planting it in my mind that I got to be ready for anything. When if you just let it happen naturally, your reaction would have been so, crazy. It's one of my friends why he always says, "Oh, don't look up anything on the movie. Don't look up
Mhm.
anything about, this said show because you don't know what you're gonna find." You want to be in it and you want to be present in the moment. You don't want that experience to be diverted by anybody else's expectations. So Matt, there was something you mentioned a few weeks back, which I wasn't going to talk about it, but you insisted you wanted to bring this one up.
What is it?
Ooh, I mean, I feel like we already covered half of it because I think it's fair to say that game leaks do ruin the gaming industry and in certain aspects in sales numbers. But the other one that I have is conspiracy theory alert.
Oh yeah,
Do you think
yeah.
publishers and developers sometimes plan or set up these leaks to happen?
They show do. There ain't nothing you could tell me.
I'm gonna need
Shoot,
some elaboration on this.
but nah. I mean, shoot. You gotta look at what is it? What is it called? You gotta look at IGM. I think it's called Gamer Score. You know what I'm saying? Even some content creators. You know what I'm saying? They release the game early. Some content creators, they got to wait till actual, like, after the game drops to play it. Some are allowed to play it a week ahead of time and drop videos, you know what I'm saying? Or they give content to IGM and, like, all these other industries that rate the game, basically. You know what I'm saying? That ties into it, too. You know what I'm saying? I know it's all for popularity, you know what I'm saying? Get the numbers up and all that, but you know, don't ruin people's experience. You know what I'm saying? And it's all planned. I know it's all planned. They could act like it just like you said with the whole GTA thing. Somebody grabbed it and leaked it and all that stuff. That stuff was out for so long they didn't care. You know what I'm saying? Shoot. Like
Right.
you really think you're gonna be able to hack a system and nobody's aware of it?
I mean that one.
I'm talking about millions to $1 billion studios.
You gotta
Nobody's gonna
strategic.
notice that.
You gotta strategically plan that one carefully too,
Yeah.
because I mean, a lot of people will insist that this one was not planned at all and that it ruined a lot of like a lot of
Mm,
broke the hearts of a lot of developers that worked on it.
mm,
And it may end up being a once in a while thing where it is indeed a true case where it does get out in the wrong hands.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't necessarily think like a lot of these developers and publishers expect the outcome of what's happening with the leak.
Yeah.
So, for example, somebody may come up with a bright idea, be like, what if we just spark the conversation a little bit, throw these people a bone, like an early copy,
Mm-hmm.
and then it just gets out of control when, people start looking into the data mines. So it now becomes not necessarily just the developers handing out the codes to these so-called workers or game journalists or publicators.
Mm-hmm.
They turn around and be like, well, we don't know what they're going to necessarily share unless we put them under an NDA. And you know, then it becomes a issue out of control. Like, are you going to stop, this guy doing a playthrough to say, yeah, you can only release a playthrough up to this point. We really don't want you to ruin the story or thing for anybody else. So that goes back as to what we were discussing, where the control leaves the developer's hands rather than goes into the community's hands. And that's the collective effort that I
Yeah.
think drives people to ruin experiences for each other, and it could be completely the unintended effect that these developers had. Like, they may have said, oh, it's going to help boost the numbers of these games. Well, dang, now no one's buying the game.
Yeah. Well,
But
yeah. Sure, I feel it. Sure. Any thoughts on that, Rock?
No, I kind of feel like you guys like hit that on the head. To be honest, usually I have a lot to say about it, but you
Yeah.
guys kind of went over that pretty well.
Well, shoot, we on to y'all. You know what I'm saying? We see what y'all doing.
Not
Well,
gonna lie, that was covered all of it.
alrighty.
okay.
Shoot, anything else to add, Double Post?
Nah, just the fact that we might have another video right on the screen or another video that you guys could check
Hey,
out.
yeah. Yeah, go
YouTube's
check them out.
recommendations.
Shoot, like the video, sub. You know what I'm
So,
saying? Comment any thoughts. You know what I'm saying? If you got any questions or anything, go ahead, hit that comment section. Shoot. But we're gonna go ahead and call it right there. Shoot, we done hit the nail on the head today, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So it's your boy LMAO Mac 27. I'm here with Double Post and Dope Rock. You know what I'm saying? Check us out. Follow us on social media. Shoot, Double Post is on Twitch, including myself, and Dope Rock is on Facebook Gaming. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, Dope Rock, I know you want to say you got anything to add or anything? Shoot. Well, I gotta go this way. Yeah, there we go. I gotta go this way. You know what I'm saying? Anything else you want to add?
I'm not your daddy, but I am your mom's favorite music producer.
And we out this thing. Shoot, peace.